Just want to go over some of the specifics about the upcoming meet for state championships. Want to go over schedule and a couple of the things so you guys are aware before you get there, and then of course answer any questions that you guys may have about this meet. So first off, just a brief recap of this past season. Just want to thank you all for an awesome 2018 Special Olympics North Carolina Unified Track and Field season. It has been a really good season. We've had over 100 unified partners and athletes compete, and we've had over 10 meets that have been held across the state in the 3 counties where unified track is. And those meets range from dual meets to meets with 4 or 5 teams, and then to the county championships and conference championships. So great job on all the work that you've all done. We're excited for this season. We're really looking forward to next season and future years for unified track here. And also congratulations to your teams for making it to state championships. We're very excited for all the athletes, unified partners, and coaches who will be competing at NCANT next Friday. You guys have put in some hard work as coaches. Athletes and partners have done an awesome job of staying true to practice and putting in a lot of hard work throughout this past few months. So this is an awesome reward. It's going to be a great experience. It truly is a one-of-a-kind experience. This is something that you talk about, in future years of being a state champion, or at least, going to state championships. So congratulations to them. Please share that along with all of your teams as well from us. So to get right down to it, some meet information. As I mentioned in the emails, the meet is on Friday, May 18th. So that will be next Friday. We will be competing with the 1A and 3A schools. So the state championships have 2 days of competition. The first day they split in half. So this first day is 1A and 3A schools. The second day, which is on Saturday, is 2A and 4A schools. However, I know some schools are 4A, some schools are 3A for unified track. All unified track will compete on Friday, May 18th. So if you get any confusion from your athletic directors, principals, whoever that may be, just explain to them that while, yes, you may not be a 3A school or a 1A school, all unified track is competing together on Friday. We will be at NCANT's stadium. It's the Irwin Belk track. It is where they also hold football games as well. It is an extremely nice track. They hold some national invitationals for the Collegiate National Invitationals. They hold high school invitationals and a lot of the specialty meets. So we're excited to be back there again this year. Like I said, it's a very nice track, very nice stadium. Who we are taking, and real quick, if you're on the phone and you're not muted, can you go ahead and mute yourself? We hear some background noise there. Or if you're on the computer, mute yourself as well, please. Thank you all. So who are we taking? We're taking the top 8 100-meter runners from all of unified track. This is across the board, regardless of county. So this includes Wake County, and Cumberland County, and Guilford County. So we are taking those top 8 100-meter runners. And that also includes a mix of unified partners and athletes. So you may ask, only my athlete got invited, and an athlete is obviously a Special Olympic athlete. Do I bring a unified partner with them? The answer to that is no. As we have mentioned before, we are taking the top 8 runners regardless of classification. How it happens to be, which we want to see and which is incredibly awesome, is our top 8 100-meter runners is split in half. 4 of the top 8 are unified partners, and 4 of the top 8 are Special Olympic athletes. And actually, if we go a little bit further down, our top 12 is split in half. So that is really awesome. It really shows the competitiveness and the magnitude of unified track here in North Carolina. That is what we want to see. That is truly 100% unified. So that is very exciting. We are also taking the top 8 4x100 meter relay teams. As you all know, a relay team must be comprised of 2 unified partners and 2 Special Olympic athletes. So that is completely unified as well. And we're taking top 8 teams. And overall, I believe we have representation from over 10 unified track teams across the state. So this is the most that we've ever taken to state championships, and we're very excited about this, really looking forward to it. Arrival time is 11 a.m. I'm going to get into the schedule here a little bit later. Our schedule will look different than a traditional athlete schedule, so we will get down to that here a little bit later. Link to meet information. There's nothing up on Mile Split right now. It will be up there, but I've talked to the meet organizer, and they're working on finalizing the schedule to be sent out via email into the computer on the website. So that will be out soon. And again, if any time during this presentation, during this call, if you have questions, if you are online, you can send it on the chat box, and those will go directly to me. And that way I'm able to actually reply to everybody so we can all see that. If you're not online and you're on the phone, go ahead and send me a text. Just make sure that you send it as a text message and not an iMessage if you have an iPhone, because that way I'm on my phone right now and iMessage won't come through when you're on the cell phone. So just convert that to a text message or send it online via the chat box. And if you have any questions that you think of when we get off of this tonight, you all have my email. You can just go ahead and shoot me an email and I will reply. If it's pertinent to others, I will go ahead and send an update to everybody else. So what to expect? As I said, this is our 3rd state championships with unified events. The past couple of years, we have had a 4x100 meter relay heat. This year, we have added the 100 meter dash as well. So we're looking forward to growing our partnership with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. They have been awesome and a great tool and a great partner in working with us to expand unified track across the state and to really bring it to the level that these athletes and unified partners deserve. So like I said, this is our 3rd year. We will have a heat of the 100 meter dash, so that is 8 total athletes, and 1 heat of the 4x100 meter relay, 8 total teams there. You've all been through the gauntlet of 1 season now. You all have seen many track meets, whether it's dual meets, larger meets. You know that it may run off schedule a little bit. I will say state championships out of all the meets are pretty much to the T when it comes to schedule. They have an awesome crew running this meet with Paul Pittman as their meet organizer. He does a really good job of making sure events stay on time, athletes get to where they need to be, and make the day really run smoothly. And then also we will be awarded after the conclusion of the races. There will be an escort there to take you to the medal podiums, and they will go ahead and run that award ceremony for you all. And then last thing is fun. This whole season for myself, I think I speak for Allie as well, and Lauren and Samantha and all of us at Special Olympics North Carolina. It's been a really fun season. We've really enjoyed getting to know all of you coaches and athletes and partners. So we want you all to have fun at state championships. For those of them, athletes, partners, other seniors, this is their last chance. So this is very exciting. We want to make sure they have fun. Next is some non-competition details. Lunch will not be provided for teams. So we have a little bit later start time this year. It is right around a typical lunchtime. So I would really encourage you all to eat on the way there and make sure they're full, and then have some snacks available for them leading up to their races. That way they're not running on an empty stomach. They have enough energy, enough fuel in their body to help them perform the way they want to. There will be concessions on sale throughout the meet, so if you want to encourage them to have a little bit of cash on hand, there will be concessions there. Weather forecast looking out, it's pretty far out right now, but as you all know, it's getting hotter by the day. So I would expect it to be, a warm day. So please bring plenty of water for your teams. Make sure they stay hydrated. Gatorades are really good as well for after races to replace those electrolytes. So sports drinks are good. Water is good as well. Please stay away from soda while they're competing. And then also very important detail with our other meets, we are a lot more more lenient with where parents can go. Meets run a little bit looser. This is not the case at state championships. Once again, this is the North Carolina High School Track and Field State Championships. This is a awesome meet that is ran for the best of the best across North Carolina in their respective races and events. So parents are not allowed on the track or near the field. We don't have any field events, so we don't have to worry about that. But parents are not allowed on the track, on the field. Even for awards, they will not be allowed to take pictures to get up real close. We will have photographers there that will be taking pictures of their children and their athletes getting their awards and everything. So just encourage them, hang out in the stands, hang out by the team tent, and enjoy having their son or daughter competing at state championships. Uniforms. Uniforms. This is a very important aspect that is not taken lightly at the state championship meet, and nor should it be taken lightly at any other meet that you guys are competing at. So teams must have matching school uniforms on. This is no exceptions to this. I don't believe I've seen any blatant uniform violations throughout the season, but please make sure all team members have the same matching school uniform on. So they must have, if you have an athlete who has an older version of the uniform, you need to make sure they get a new version, and they all are matching. This not only makes them look good, but once again, this legitimizes competition for not just unified track, but for competition in general. Kind of goes without saying, but absolutely no jeans, no cutoff shorts, hats, sunglasses, or any jewelry while competing. They are pretty strict. They cannot have anything on their wrist as well, whether it be a rubber band, a Fitbit. Girls wear, I think, hair ties is what you call them. And nothing like that can be on their wrist as well while competing. They will make them take that off. They are allowed to wear undershirts, but if they do so, undershirts must be of one solid color, and no logos are allowed to be shown out on that outside of that undershirt. So one solid color. We prefer them all to have matching colors. If one athlete has a white undershirt, the rest of the team should have a white undershirt if they choose to wear one. And as well, the shirt should be more the athletic type, not necessarily just a plain cotton shirt. And relay teams must wear matching uniforms, including undershirts if they are worn. So the official rule is if an undershirt is worn, at least two team members must be wearing that undershirt, and it must be of the same matching color. So make sure those undershirts are matching colors. This also goes for any leg garments underneath your shorts. Those must be of one solid color with no logo showing. I know that there's a couple of, Nike has a couple of those compression shorts, and their logos are quite large on that. Those are disallowed, and they will be asked to be removed and a new pair of shorts be worn. So just make sure uniforms, you all look the same. We want you all to look good. We want everybody to know what school you're from, and we want to look like we belong at state championships, because we all do belong at state championships. Spikes. Athletes and partners can have spikes. They're not required. I don't believe we've really had many athletes or partners wearing spikes throughout the season, so please don't change that now if they haven't been wearing spikes. But they can be, and they must be between an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch. And they must be inspected prior to check-in. So when you take your athletes to check-in for that event, there will be a table next to it for spike and cleat inspection. Athletes must take those to them to be inspected, and if passed, then they can wear them. If they are not passed, they must wear other shoes. And then as well, one logo on the top, one on the bottom. And that was one I mentioned. Those logos must be very small. And if you have a small, Nike swoosh, for example, it must be less than 2 inches. So these are very technical items. If you have questions on uniforms, please let me know, and I can send you the guidelines on that. As I said, though, don't try to change anything up here at the last meet. Just make sure you guys are wearing matching uniforms, that they have shoes, appropriate shoes for competition, and that you guys look like a team, especially your relay teams. The next thing I want to go over is when you arrive. So arrival for traditional teams and traditional athletes who will be starting earlier than us will be in the morning. We have been given permission to arrive by 11 a.m. So you will want to arrive to the track and field by 11 a.m. I would expect a little bit of traffic around that time as far as people coming in and out of the venue or the facility. So just account for that when you are preparing your travel time. What you will do, coaches will meet with Pat Neal, and he's not able to be on the call tonight, but he will be part of our meet contact. He is a coach in Guilford County for Unified Track who has been at state championships before. So he knows the layout of the land. He knows the process of which to check in, to get your packets, and all that. So he will be a great resource, and you will have his contact information given to you later on. But you will meet with him, and he will have your coach packets. These packets will contain wristbands for entry. So all persons must have a wristband to enter, athletes and coaches. It will have heat sheets in there, and then it will have schedule of events as well. And it might have some general information about the meet and some concessions, restrooms, facility information in there. So you're going to meet with him at 11 a.m., and I will show you here in this next slide where that will be at. And then once you get in, set up that team tent wherever is available. With us getting in a little bit later, there's going to be a lot of room in the stands. It is a football stadium, so there's plenty of stands room where you're able to put a tent. There is room below the bleachers around the track. That will most likely be taken up, however. So do encourage you all to bring tents. It will be hot. It will be sunny, hopefully, and it will be in an open area. So bring those team tents just like you all have been this season and pop those up. And just make sure you arrive on time as well. So here's a map of the facility of the stadium. As you can see here, where it says athlete drop-off, it is a big loop. So if you are driving a bus, whether it's a mini bus or a activity bus, you can drop your athletes off on this loop right here and have them walk in, and then you will be directed to park that bus. And then if you are driving a car, you can choose to park first, or if you want to, you can also drop your athletes off there, park your car. There will be parking attendants at the facility directing you of where to park at. So just pay attention to them and to where they tell you. They all are aware that we are coming, so just tell them your school name, and they will direct you where to go. Once you drop off your athlete, Coach Neal will be here with your packets right outside the gate. This is where you're going to pick up your packets, get those wristbands, get that information, get them on everybody. Then you can go ahead and head into the stadium. As you see, it's a very large stadium. It's a football stadium. So there's a lot of places to go. Spectators. So if there are parents that are coming on their own to watch their athletes or Unified Partners perform, they've asked that they enter on the opposite side of the stadium. There is an entry fee. I believe it is $7 for spectators. We are working with the state to see if we will be allowed any wristbands for parents. That is not guaranteed, and I will let you all know as soon as I have heard back from them. But do expect parents to pay, and let them know ahead of time, please, that they are expected to pay, just like any other parent or spectator for the athlete. I have a question here about bus drivers, wristbands for any bus drivers. I will contact the state, our contact there, and see if we can get some wristbands for them. I don't think that should be an issue. And then the race check-in. So just like any other race, they will be calling in for check-in. That is going to be where you all entered at. When you enter, there is a concrete plaza area. You will see tables set up there with the check-in table and the flight check-in table as well. And that is where you're actually going to check in. But before you guys check in with the meet, Pat is going to direct you all to check in with him during that first call. That way we can all get together, go through a quick items, and then move on to check in to get your hit numbers. Coach responsibilities, as with any meet, checking your athletes at this check-in table, the staging area. As I said, meet with Pat first. He'll be out there in contact with you all throughout the day. You will meet with him to go over any questions, and then you will go ahead and check your athletes in. It is extremely important that at check-in, every single person competing, whether it's a unified partner or athlete, must be in full uniform as if they were about to run. They must have their shoes on. They must have the jewelry off, the wristbands off. They must be ready to run as if they were going to take them on the track right immediately after. If they are not, they will ask them to please leave and go get ready in full uniform, and then you can come back to check them in. So that is one thing to make sure that you guys were all having your teams ready to compete when you go to check in. They want to make sure uniforms are up to snuff and make sure athletes are ready to go. Keep your team informed of the schedule and flow of meet. As you all know, with track meets, there is a lot of wait time in between events. That is something that we cannot control. That is something that is inevitable for a track meet. So just make sure that they are aware of that and know that we will be coming up soon. Be attentive as well to the PA announcer. So the check-in process, you will have that first call. Coaches should have athletes to event to be checked in. We would like for you all to be ready and there at that first call. Once you get the second call, that is your last chance for athletes to check in. They're going to make that last chance, last call, unified 100, unified 4x1. We don't want to have any stragglers yet. So just pay attention to that first call, start making your way there. You do have time. You don't have to run. You don't have to rush. Be safe about it. But start making your way towards the check-in table. Once the event is complete, you'll be with your athletes and they'll be awarded in the infield. Coaches, you will have access to the track and field with those wristbands. So you will have access. You will not be allowed, though, during running events or the 4x1 or the 100 to be at, specifically for the 4x1, you will not be allowed to be at each handoff. You'll be allowed in a designated coaches area where you can yell at them and encourage them and cheer them on, but you will not be able to run with them whatsoever. You should not be doing that in the first place, and you will not be able to be at the handoffs as well. But this is a completely independent meet. They will have volunteers for the relay who will set them into their zones. The schedule. So the full schedule will be released online soon, as I mentioned. They have finalized it. They're just working to release that. As I said, unified teams all arrive by 11 a.m. to the track to go ahead, get your package from Coach Neal, Pat Neal, and then go ahead and get your team set up. This is a couple hours before we start competing. We want to make sure that you all have plenty of time to get there, get settled, and get stretched out, and see a little bit of other competition as well. We want you all to be a part of this meet. So we want to be able to see some other competition and to really enjoy the day. So the event finals start at 1 p.m. We will be following, just like in our other meets, the schedule along with the 100 meter and the 4x1. So the 100 meter will start with the 100 meter women's 1A, 100 meter women's 3A, 100 meter men's 1, 100 meter men's 3, and then a wheelchair 100 meter dash. We will be after that wheelchair 100 meter dash, approximately 1:15 to 1:30. Of course, this is an approximate time. Do not hold us to this time. Just wanted to give you a general whereabouts and when to expect to be racing. Check-in, though, of course, will be much earlier than that. Unified 400 meter relay, that's the 4x1, will be after the mile run. Will be the first of the relay events before the men's and women's go. And our time is approximately an hour after our 100 meter dash. So that gives sufficient time for those athletes who have made it to the 100 meter dash and the 4x1, plenty of time to rest up and to get ready for your next event. Make sure for that relay you have batons. I know you all have them because we all ordered you batons. Ordered 2 batons in your school colors. Bring both of them with you as a backup. So make sure you have those batons and make sure you have your team order as well. They will go ahead and put hip numbers on you when you check in and order what legs they will be running. So We expect unified events to all conclude around 3 p.m. So you have a time frame to give to your parents and a time frame for the school as well, around 3 p.m. After races are done and awards are done. And speaking of awards, the top 4 placements for each event will be awarded first through fourth. So first, second, third, and fourth will receive awards for the 100-meter dash. Same thing goes for the 4x100-meter relay team. There will be a podium that they will be presented on, and they will receive their medals and then be able to take pictures and have a picture opportunity. So top 4 placement will be awarded overall, so half the field for each. The cool thing about state championships, this is all being recorded as well. We have been told that Mile Split will be recording this live for state championships. So if you do have a parent who is looking to watch their athlete or unified partner who may not be able to make it, let me know and we can get them some more information on that. But that is a really cool aspect of this meet. We will have that ability and capability of video. Meet day contacts. As I talked about, Pat Neal will be your main contact. He is our Northwest Guilford High School Unified Track and Field head coach. He has been with Unified for the past, I want to say 2 or 3 years, and has done a really good job over in Guilford County at his school. And he's been to the state championships, so he knows kind of the lay of the land and what to expect for you all. Allie Stockberger from SONC staff. Many of you, if not most of you, are familiar with Allie. She will also be there and will be a contact for you as well if needed. But she will be there in a supportive manner. So Pat will be your main competition person. So we look forward to seeing you all there. Look forward to watching the athletes and the unified partners compete and having a new state champion this year. Once again, thank you for all that you guys have done this season. Keep practicing with your teams. The meet is all Friday, so keep practicing that 100-meter and 4x1. Just a talking point, our 100-meter dash event, the difference between our top time and our 8th place time is 0.07 of a second. So that will be a very, very competitive race that is up in the air for anybody. So to give them a little more encouragement, anybody can win that race. Practice hard this next week. Enjoy this last week of practice with each other, and enjoy your time at state championships. As I said, it's a once in a lifetime thing that they get to do. We're really looking forward to having you all there and representing Unified Track, Special Olympics Unified Track, in a very positive way. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Send that in the text box over here if you're online. If you're on the phone, go ahead and send me a text message. Just make sure that your message is sent as a text message. That way I can get it during this presentation. I have a couple here. So I have a question. Is there a team state champion or just individual placers? There is just an individual placement for us because we do not have all unified events competing in the state championships just yet. So we just do individual placements and those 2 events. So you will have an overall 100-meter dash unified track and field state champion and an overall 4x100-meter relay team state champion. I have another technical question. Do we know the top time in the 4x1? The 4x1 will be very competitive as well. Our top times in the 4x1, I believe, are in the mid to high 50 seconds, which is an awesome time. So our difference in our top times to our lowest time there is within about 10 seconds, I would say. So we're very excited about not just the competitiveness of these events, we're just excited that we have both events to showcase this year and that we're able to bring more unified partners and more athletes out to compete and to do their best and to really showcase what unified track and field in North Carolina is all about. And I'll give it another minute or so for any more questions to come in. As I said, if you can't think of them right now, we could all pops in your head, just send me an email, and I will try to answer it the best I can. And we will be in contact with you all in this next week and a half leading up to the event. And we'll be sending out confirmations for both of your athletes for the 100-meter dash and for your team to make sure we have all names spelled correctly, as well as times. So thank you all for a great season. We look forward to many more seasons, hopefully with you all as coaches and with these athletes and Unified partners and Unified Track. Good luck to everybody at state championships. We hope everybody has a great competition, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you all, and have a good night.